This is Kathy Biehl of EmpowermentUnlimited.net with Astro-Insight for the week of January 1st, 2024. Boy, it's the first time I've said a date with 2024 in it. Feels kind of weird. Kind of weird to hear it too, huh? We have a lot of time to get used to it. This week we have a lot of time to get used to a lot of things. The new year may be upon us, but don't push yourself to rush into anything because the skies are definitely allowing us, encouraging us, holding us to stay in place. The year begins with a very, very slow start, suspending us in time with the weird, not unpleasant energy of Mercury stationing direct on the 1st, while Jupiter has just stationed direct on the 30th. Neither planet is going to move ahead for a while. Mercury won't really be moving at all until the weekend. Jupiter for considerably longer. And this gives us a wonderful, easy, life in slow-mo, suspended feeling that allows us to enjoy the moment and to actually start planning incrementally. We're going to find this week that we bite things off in increments. And even if, as the week goes on, even if you feel the pace starting to ramp up and feel like things are getting faster and faster and more crazed, you still have the latitude and the permission to do everything bit by bit, piece by piece. The beginning of the year does caution us to pay attention to what you really want, to what you really value. Venus, the planet of relationships and money and everything we value, is in a challenging aspect to Saturn, Lord of Order, the planet of adulting. There is some kind of push to put containment, to put structure, to commit, to do something responsible in order to have something that you want. And there's unfortunately really not anything giving us an easy out to avoid answering to this or to avoid dealing with it, because everything else is just kind of suspended in time. By the 3rd, when the outside world starts to creep back into our awareness and the notion of responsibilities and going back to work and dealing with things is creeping into our minds, we have a push-pull of really not quite being ready to buckle down, wanting to have our own way, especially our own schedule, a bit longer, as the two planets of indulgence, Venus and Jupiter, make an adjustment aspect. And there's also this niggling little feeling that there's something you're not dealing with. Maybe it would be a good idea to look at what's tugging you, what's nipping at your heels, what's pulling the hem of your pants or your skirt and tugging, what's bothering you when you wake up. Mars is on his way out of the door of Sagittarius, and because Pluto is the gatekeeper of the exit door, Mars is making a really uncomfortable, nuanced, minor aspect called a semisextile with the Lord of the Underworld before he leaves, so there's something that would behoove you to deal with it, even if you don't want to deal with it, especially if you don't want to deal with it. And after that, Mars moves into Capricorn on the 4th, and we find that our motivation and basically our orientation to what we want to do with our lives has moved pretty fully into project management mode. Venus is in Capricorn, the Sun is in Capricorn. Late in the month, Mercury will be back there, and the way of the world is plan, set goals, set resolutions if you're so inclined, but more importantly, set goals, chart them out according to the incremental steps that are going to get you there. Pace yourself. You're not going to dash off. Even if you feel the slightest bit inclined to dash off, nobody has the energy for it. Schedules are simply not going to allow it. Moods definitely are not going to allow it. Take a, boring as this sounds, and I know I've said it several times, step by step approach. No pushing, no shoving, no jumping ahead. We're not playing a game of chutes and ladders. No cutting corners, no leapfrogging. Set your sights ahead. Think about where it is you want to go. Make your plans accordingly and knock off the action items one at a time, taking care of your own physical needs as you do it. We are in a marathon. The pace will quicken as we get toward the end of the month. It will be possible to push all kinds of things through from the end of January until the beginning of April. But for right now, plan, make lists, make spreadsheets, set your goals, break it down into incremental steps. What's first, and then what, and then what, and then what, and then what. It's a soft launch into the year, and you're going to be really glad later of whatever you get in order now. Homing thought of the week. Slow and steady wins the race. Song of the week, going in the Wayback Machine, way back. A movie called Hans Christian Andersen and the song Inchworm. And the image of the week is a really old-fashioned clock ticking with the minute hand moving minute by minute by minute by minute, and you can hear it. To help you harness this energy, Donna Woodwell and I are leading a Write Your 2024 Story workshop that will show you how this year's big astrological activity is playing out in your chart. You get a workbook, you figure it out, we show you how to do it, and how you can harness what is going on and steer the year in a direction that works for you. It's live this Thursday, January 4th from 3 to 5 p.m. Eastern, and you get a recording so you can watch the recording as many times as you want, and you don't have to be live when we're live. You can watch it later. It's a mere $27. There's a link to sign up at the top of my site, empowermentunlimited.net, where you can also sign up for my mailing list and book a session with me. I'm Kathy Biehl, a professional astrologer with more than 30, maybe more than 35, I can't quite figure it out yet, years of experience. I host the show Celestial Compass on Om Times Radio on the first and third Monday of every month at 5 p.m. Eastern, and this week my guest is Susan Miller. Yes, the Susan Miller, talking about what she sees coming for the signs in 2024. I also host lively conversation on Facebook at Empowerment Unlimited and in the group, the Astro-Insight Lounge. I have lots of bonus content at patreon.com/Kathy Biehl, and I'm really grateful for the people who support my work there. And you could be one for as little as $1 a month. I post on Instagram and on Threads at K.A. Biehl and on YouTube at The Professional Aquarian Channel. Talk to you next week.